Hello class, today we're going to be doing some MCAS prep, and more specifically we're going to be focusing on volumes of prisms and cylinders today. So I have this worksheet included for you all. If you want to do it all, you're welcome to, and I'll be more than happy to check it out. But for this lesson we're just going to focus on numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. Another thing I'll include for you guys is an attachment with some MCAS formulas that you'll use when taking the MCAS, or that will be available to you. So for this exercise, you might want to look at the volume formulas. We have a few of them listed out: rectangular, prism, cube, cylinder, sphere. So this might be another handy thing to have out in front of you while going through this exercise. But essentially, to find the volume of any prism or cylinder, you're basically just going to find the area of the base of the shape and then multiply it by the height, or multiply it by the length. Oftentimes, when completing problems such as these, you'll hear terms such as base times height, or length times width times height, and a lot of these terms can be used interchangeably, and that's not as important, just as long as the concepts are the same and that use the same method. So let's dive right in. So we're going to find the area of this triangular prism. So remember, we want to find the area of the base and multiply it by the area of the height, or the area of the length. So our base is represented by a triangle. So how do we find the area of a triangle again? That's right, it's going to be base times height divided by 2. So if we're going to find the volume of this triangular prism, we're going to do the base times the height, 34 times 6, divided by 2. And that will give us the area of the triangle, which acts as the base of the figure. And then we just multiply it by the height, 17. Or you could say the length or the width. Again, those terms can be used interchangeably. So volume equals 34 times 6 divided by 2. It's going to be 102. So again, that's going to be the area of the triangle. And now we just multiply it by the length. Volume equals 102 times 17. So our volume is going to be 1,734 millimeters. And then what unit are we going to use again? That's correct, it's going to be millimeters cubed. And one way I like to think about this is just because we have a millimeter times another millimeter, or millimeters cubed. Just like if you have x times x times x, that's going to be x cubed. So volume, you always want to have your units be cubed. So now we have a different shape. We have a cylinder with this one. So our radius is going to be 3, and our height is going to be 9 millimeters. So again, we just want to do the same process, find the area of the base, which would be a circle in this case, and multiply it by the area of the height, which is 9 millimeters in this case. So to find the area of the base, or the circle, we're just going to use pi r squared. So pi times 3 squared. And that will give us the area of the circle. Then we just multiply it by the height, or the length, times 9. So volume is going to equal 9 pi. Again, that's the area of the circle. And now we just multiply it by the area of the height. So volume is going to equal 81 pi. And in this case, it says round to the nearest tenth as needed. So 81 times pi will give us an answer of 254.5. And again, we want to use millimeters cubed. All right, so looking at number 5, in this case, we're given a rectangular prism. And again, we just want to use the same formula of finding the area of the base and multiplying it by the height. And in this case, it doesn't, especially with rectangular prisms, it doesn't matter what you want to constitute as the base. For example, if you want this little rectangle or this thin one I should say, to be the base, and then multiply it by 9.6, you're welcome to do that. Or if you want to see this bigger rectangle, constitute that as the base and multiply it by the height of 2 inches, that's cool too. Either way, you'll get the same answer. So I'm just going to do it as if this larger rectangle right here was the base and the height is 2, since that's what's like flat on the bottom, but again, it doesn't really matter. So our volume is going to be, so if this is a 6.75 by 9.6 rectangle, 75 times 9.6, and that will give us the area of this rectangle. And now we just multiply it by the height of 2. So we're going to get a volume of 6.75 times 9.6 times 2. 129.6. And in this case, it's going to be inches cubed. And another reason why it doesn't matter what you want to include as the base, like for example, if you wanted to say that the volume is going to be, if you wanted to say that this was the base, so you do 6.75 times 2, and then multiply it by the height, 9.6, you'll still get the same answer of 129.6 cubic inches, because multiplication, like addition as well, is commutative. So it doesn't matter if you do 6.75 times 9.6 times 2 or 6.75 times 2 times 9.6. It doesn't matter what order you multiply things in, you'll always get the same answer. Alright, so looking at number 6, we can see the tube of toothpaste shown costs $3.45. Estimate the price per cubic inch of toothpaste. So here we have a tube of toothpaste, and this volume would be very hard to calculate. It's not really a formula we're familiar with. And just because we're estimating here, what we can do is convert this shape into one that we're more comfortable with working with and know how to calculate the volume of. So this kind of replicates a triangular prism in a way. So if we were to draw a triangular prism, and I'm not the best drawer, so just bear with me. But the toothpaste will look something similar. To a shape like this. And this shape, this triangular prism, we know how to calculate the volume of. So we can see that this length right here is going to be 8 inches. So that will be 8. This width is going to be 1.5 inches. And then the height as well is going to be 1.5 inches. So again, to calculate the area of this volume, we're just going to calculate the area of the triangle, which acts as one of the bases, and then multiply it by the height. So our volume is going to be, so remember, for a triangle, base times height divided by 2, 8 times 1.5 divided by 2, and then that we're just going to multiply by 1.5. 1.5. So our but is going to come out to 9 inches cubed. But that's not our final answer. We're trying to estimate the price per cubic inch of toothpaste. So if our volume is about 9 inches cubed, and the cost is going to be about $3.45 for the tube of toothpaste, our last step, we're just going to take the $3.45 and divide it by our 9 cubic inches. We should get about $0.38. And that would be our final answer. So it'd be $8.38 per cubic inch of toothpaste.